This person's one of the good guys, right? Why does he have an evil laugh? The Rosa sisters are barefoot in public, and their feet float above these stairs. The moon isn't in the shot, then suddenly appears out of nowhere. Yeah, Link went out in search of someone most people don't even want back. I'll forgive Link having Epona despite being optional on Ocarina, but he didn't have her as a kid, so why is she with him in the past? Screen goes away from the Skull Kid so they don't have to answer how he played the ocarina through his mask. Link's legs should be burned really badly right about now. Discount Wonderland. The horse did listen to you. You made it run away from us. Game gives us fake suspense by making us think he killed Epona. First we have Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole, now Pinocchio's donkey scene. And that's ignoring Link's Peter Pan outfit. Come on, Tattle, what are you, 3? You can't open wooden doors by ramming them. Stop accusing us, you winged brat. You're the one who stayed to attack us. She expects us to trust her after she mistreated us. This withered Deku is sad to look at, but since we can't return after this, you'll likely forget about it before it has any significance. Time doesn't pass in the clock tower like it has weird time-defying capabilities. The fact that so many mindless sheep hate this remake just because Nero does. They're probably the same idiots who hate Galaxy 2 just because Josh Scorcher hates it. In the N64 version, you couldn't save until like 80 minutes into the game, but now you can save after a mere 20 minutes. Thank you, Nintendo, for fixing the opening's biggest flaw. And here's the debut of the most annoying Zelda character, with his annoying speech pattern, and making you mash the button through this stupid stuff that no one cares about. The dialogue says he's saying Kalu Limpa, but he's actually saying Kalu Ba. About 30% of this game's soundtrack is recycled from Ocarina. I know it's a parallel universe to Hyrule, but I'm still sending it. Tattle just said you're stronger than the Skull Kid, and all you can give us is a magic meter and 1 new ability for no other reason than thinking the Skull Kid was helping you. The worst he did was take away 1 piece of you which we just returned. Snot bubbles. Just what Zelda games need. How are these balls being juggled this slow? Are they filled with helium? Catching these pesky kids is the most likely thing to make you run out of time. This is even more insulting since they're nice kids. Seriously, where the heck are their parents? Why do their shoes make weird dripping sounds when they walk? I should be in bed at 6. Sure, why not? That's Grubsist. If you forget the code, you have to catch them again. Thank goodness you get a journal soon, so you don't need to memorize it anymore. But as of now, it's annoying. This guy blocks public access, and the way he's sighing when talking makes him sound kind of like a jerk. This is a justice group, right? The Scarecrow says dance till dawn in a way that sounds like an expression. I didn't know he meant literally when I first did this. Why are children hanging out with an old man, and why does Shikashi think we're with the Skull Kid? The moon says it's here which we need to reach the Skull Kid at the exact moment we find him. Really? You're not worried that the moon is much closer to Earth and has a scary face? Stupid fairy. Besides, since it's out of orbit, the planet should be spinning at 1100 miles per hour, gravity would lose control, cataclysms would happen, days would be too long, and we'd all be dead. This can't just be a moon that Majora created, because the normal moon isn't anywhere to be seen at night. The banker has weird time travel powers that let him recognize you even if you go back to before you met him. And why is he doing that weird thing with his hands? Once again, the awesome music stops at night. Why do these Deku Scrubs look different than the ones in Ocarina of Time? The fact that dogs hate Deku Scrubs made everyone attack dogs in this game. But it could be worse. At least no one hurt real dogs as a result of this. At least I hope not. Great! Poop jokes! In a Zelda game! And why would we want this piece of heart from the toilet? I'd think that would make us sicker. This kid has a point. These carpenters couldn't simply just look up. Also, he takes this seriously, yet refers to it as a giant chunk of rock in the sentence. No, the town's not empty. At least not yet. These final hours are creepy and depressing, greatly setting the mood for what's at stake. Why hasn't this brainless Skull Kid smashed the ocarina? Even though the world ends in 6 minutes, Teo stupidly decides to play the pronoun game with us instead of being more specific. That scream's so annoying. And are you telling me he could speed up the moon this whole time? Why didn't he just do that right after summoning it? Why Link has these bagpipes instead of the ocarina during the serious moment? They won't explain at this very moment, making this seem just random until you find out what's going on. As much as I love the 3-day cycle mechanic of this game, I really don't like how you lose some replaceable items whenever you return to the first day. The Happy Mask Salesman just plays the same 2 keys on this giant piano that came out of nowhere, yet it still plays the right notes. Child abuse. Does he know that Link can go back in time? If not, why does he think we'd have this all-powerful mask by now? In terms of time, they were apart for like seconds. If he does know about Link's ability to go back in time, why is he acting like this if he knows that Link can keep doing that? Once again, false advertising of the Happy Mask Salesman. Roll credits. If the mask was this important, why didn't you tell us that? You didn't even tell us what it looks like. This seemingly intelligent man with great knowledge on masks is also too stupid to tell us about what could happen if you don't get it back. I know I'm getting a lot of backlash for this, but I honestly really hate this guy. How did you get the bomber's notebook between the 3 seconds you saw us? Also, they're not brats. They help people. Unlike most games, this one actually shows you what happens if you don't succeed. That definitely helps with a dark atmosphere. In this awful minigame, you can't even be 100th of a second off. Thank goodness it's optional. Bomb bags are made of a creature's stomach. Thanks for giving me that thought. Who built this playground? Kids will have a hard time getting to the slide. This old lady, who shouldn't even be handling bombs, doesn't see Seikon going directly towards her. Great job, giving a small child an exploding mask. Aww. Could that sound clip sound any dumber? The turning makes throwing these bomb tubes a bit finicky. I'm surprised you let us use explosives here to begin with. These soldiers want the townspeople to take refuge, yet don't let us escape unless we have a sword. I see they tell us to find our parents, but even if we have seconds left, they don't care. These stupid Takuris are a huge pain, stealing your items. Good thing the Deku mask protects us from item theft, and because the Curiosity Shop lets us buy our stolen stuff back, but making us pay to get our stuff back? How is Grog the only one who knows the moon will destroy the entire world and not just Clocktown? Yeah, Grog's a softie, the kind who doesn't care if everyone dies and only cares about seeing chicks grow up. Why did the Skull Kid steal the mask anyway? He didn't seem like a bad guy yet. I wonder if this Lord Chapu Chapu has a tiny dungeon inside its stomach. You literally get nothing for catching the bigger fish that take hours to catch. Time to add 3 cents. For some reason, I'm not digging the Southern Swamp theme. Really? Who would ever guess the statues look like you? Okay, Turtles, I'm pretty sure that you guys are the ones who need to get a grip. The whole clones in the parallel universe seeing this game might confuse fans, such as why are Kotaki and Calm good guys now? I know why, but some kids will be confused. We have to go through these woods twice. Kotaki doesn't even thank you for saving her sister. Ungrateful jerk. Kotaki doesn't actually sell you potions until you get her a mushroom. What a ripoff! Did they give us a camera with only one piece of film in it? That's another cheap ripoff! 85 seconds of this discount Pokemon Snap level / Disney World ride. Who's steering this thing? Best song in the whole game, no question. Now I'll remove synths for every amazing song in the game. Even if you turn human in front of the other Dekus and get kicked out, they still let you in knowing you're an imposter. These forbidden doorways are unguarded. Selfish King cliché and character wrongly accused someone of kidnapping the princess cliché both rolled into one. Only difference is that Link's not the suspect. I'll give credit for having somewhat better reasons for accusing the monkey than most accusers, since the monkey entered the temple with the princess and came out alone. But did they not know about the monsters in the temple? Does this idiot really think the monkey could eat the princess even if he was guilty? These monkeys have an annoying speech pattern. The guards don't hear fluttering over their heads. Everyone witnesses this except for the butler who just stares into space. How do you think we'll complete an entire dungeon in the time it takes them to simply dunk you in a boiling cauldron? Do you and the banker share the same unworldly knowledge? Upskirt shot. Get out of the way, you stupid kid! Maybe the Happy Mask salesman was right about you being brats. It's idiotic that you have to speak to this business Deku as a human to give him the town title deed. Talk about picky. And what are the odds that all these business scrubs want to move to these places? Yeah, I bet it would indeed be very humiliating to have Tingle as a son. The swamp level goes up to us where we're going to die. I'm not a fan of this music. It has screaming like a banshee in it. No wonder these blocks have weirdly sad faces. The stray fairies don't notice the rest of Link's body. These muffs leave this medium-sized flame to follow your tiny flame. These enemies can force you to climb back up. And if you fall into the holes, that's even worse. Easiest fight in the game. Bees don't die from stinging you. I still prefer Ocarina a bit, but unlike Ocarina's Circus Act boss theme, this actually sounds like a Zelda boss theme should sound. I wonder how many people found that offensive. Now you can just safely fly above Ottawa while raining Deku nuts on him. He was never my favorite boss, but why did they need to dumb him down? And now he rarely uses that cool firing attack. I like that move because it reminded me of the second Axel fight in Kingdom Hearts 2, but now it's easy to win before he uses it. The bosses have Majora's Eye now. That's like if every boss in Ocarina had Ganondorf's face. Unlike other Zelda games, the satisfaction of saving areas doesn't last because they go back to being cursed in the next cycle until you beat the bosses again. I'm not sure I accept your apology. Earlier you apologized just so you could come with, and even now you followed up by saying don't hold it against you. The Deku Princess looks a bit creepy. Those white dots look like her eyes, but her eyes are here. She's definitely gonna be grounded for this. This monkey is quick to forgive everyone for trying to boil him alive. Why is the monkey apologizing? The Dekus are the reason we had to do this. Finding that the monkey is innocent somehow makes the king let humans in here. The swamp spider house cursed this man, so how are we unaffected by the place? He broke his promise of teaching us something if we saved him. If Calm hates being hit by arrows, why does she have this minigame? This icicle should have fallen already because of his painfully skinny top. Link's legs must be frozen. I know what Kepora means, but sometimes you should judge appearances. Should I not trust him if there's a man-eating lion on the road? I get your play on words, but that's not crying over spilled rocks. You could die. This is sweet, but we basically peeled his face off. Why would they dry up the hot spring when someone's buried here? Now we can't save some Gorons without violating his grave. We're such good people to get their hopes up into thinking Darmani's still alive. Why can't everyone take shelter in here? That's actually annoying. How does this frail old guy expect to handle a giant mechanical bull monster? No fair! The Goron Elder's drum plays the right keys, but ours doesn't? He clearly says he forgot Goron's lullaby, but then says the cold's the reason he can't play it very well. Make up your mind! The baby Goron's not a good singer. Sore losers. Honey and Darling kinda question their relationship just because we beat their minigames. That makes no sense. Well, that was an awfully creepy laugh. Why did they force us to do this minigame twice in order to get what we want? Great job, teaching kids that throwing dogs is okay. If parents and owners weren't around to stop kids from doing this in real life, I'd add 50 cents. I love these adorable doggos, but how is there a blue dog? Did it get stuck in some radioactive waste? This dog race is luck-based. Thankfully, it's optional, and at least there's a chance to change your odds of winning. Big Goron hears this lullaby through a long distance through a blizzard so he can commit Goron slaughter. Actually, he somehow survives. Why does an ice dungeon have lava? The gods must really hate the real bomb shoes if they made them explode on contact. How are they not extinct? This stray fairy is found by using the lens of truth at this random spot. You know what? How I just send every instance of Wizard being fought in this game. I still love this version, but Goat's not as fun as he was then since you have to stop to use fire arrows. I love how the frog thinks Don Gero lost weight when we're much bigger. Why is the elder shivering when it's warm now? How does the Goron baby expect to act mature? I feel extremely bad for Medigoron. He has to keep crawling down these ramps. That should be nightmarish. 80 seconds of powder keg carrying. From what we've seen, Darmani doesn't seem like the guy who'd race, but he apparently does. This remix of the racing music sounds kinda weird. Gold dust? Great. Something to remind us of Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Great, we get a powder keg as an additional reward, which has only 2 other uses, neither of which are useful before we reset the cycle. Romani was named after this ranch, which will confuse people into thinking she's the owner just by being too young. If the aliens come every night before the carnival, why don't they come on the other 2 nights? It really makes me mad that there's no way Crimea can believe Romani unless we fail the mission. Why? Why does it matter if we're a boy or not? Stop being sexist towards yourself. I never would have thought to stay here at all times. Don't you fear the moon destroying this place? Why do you think there'll be a next year? If Madame Aroma can't eat without Cafe, who was gone for a month, how is this woman not dead? You apparently can't talk about someone without some mask. I don't think pushing someone floating over water is this easy. I feel bad for Macau, but laying on the ground, then just getting up and playing a weird song, then fainting is impossible to take seriously. It's weird that a creature with humanoid features lays eggs. Die and sure don't rhyme. That sound clip sounds dumb. Who writes songs on graves? Also, he says boomerangs are his finishing move, even though that usually doesn't kill enemies. Why is Lulu the only Zora that wears clothes? I know Lulu's depressed, but is she really unfazed that we just took her picture without permission? What's this Deku doing in Lulu's room? Evan can somehow make music from a piano that's made from seaweed or whale teeth or whatever. Jappas must constantly have to be taken to a Zora hospital, with him constantly being poked by his crab guitar spikes. Once again, the near lack of female Zoras proves they should be endangered, and yet they're still around in Twilight Princess. Yes, I do think you're stealing our song, you plagiarist. What if Jappas hears you play this? The way the Don Gero mask has its thumbs on your face is kinda creepy. Games saying come back when you grow up can mislead people into thinking that adult Link's in this game too. When scripting this, I realized, how did Romani find out about the aliens? One could argue that the cows disappeared once and Romani investigated next year, but if they were abducted once, Crimea would believe her. Did Romani decide to eat a Krabby Patty at 3 in the morning but then happen to see these aliens out the window? What do the aliens want with these cows anyway? Do they function like shrooms except with milk instead of people's life energy? How did Romani fend them off every year if she couldn't without our help? If you lose, you must return to day 1, buy the powder keg, open the ranch, talk to Romani, redo the practice minigame, then go back to 2 AM and try this again. Crimea is leaving her 7-year-old sister in charge while she's gone. The Gorman race seems optional, but then bites you in the butt later on. This savage shark isn't as wild as he looks. What moron made the faster swimming option cost magic? How will a human/fish person relationship work? They reproduce differently. How do pirates get into their own fortress if the entrance is on the seafloor? How do they expect their equipment to not get attacked by the sea snakes? Bees only attack you if you make them mad. So why are they chasing the pirates? If you get the stone mask here, the second half of the stealth mission becomes insultingly easy. Tettle says these pirates will capture you if they win, but instead they just throw you out. Way to raise suspense for nothing. These pirates put the egg in with this carnivorous Desbrecco. We don't get to fight Avail, the leader. Now I'm adding 3 cents. So they can show blood here but nowhere else? How does that make any sense? This creepy pervert. Oh, what a cute date-like scene. Oh wait, I forgot Link's too young for her. Parents died leaving the older sister in charge cliché. Cremia doesn't believe in the aliens, but she believes that the moon has a scary face and is going to fall on them. Previously unseen pathway magically appears so that Cremia can still get to Clocktown. You need to save at least 1 milk bottle. Well, that would still be disappointing if they're only getting a shipment of 1 bottle. Romani masks, which are needed to enter the milk bar, are rare. That's really bad for business. Hey, why don't they need their masks on? How can Gorman get drunk from milk? Do they sneak alcohol into it? That's disturbing. Link can clone himself now. Gorman doesn't notice that our song keeps sounding more and more like the one he loves until we're done. This is awesome, but I've heard the Ballad of the Windfish and it sounds nothing like that. This is heartbreaking, but some can easily see it as unintentionally funny. This fish eats his fish buddy and spits out his heart. Considering the Goatman's highly counterpart thought frog eyeballs tasted good, I probably shouldn't trust him with the eggs. Luckily they hatched right on time. Game made me Google how long can sea turtles hold their breath underwater. They can for 4 to 7 hours. That's impressive, but resting on the ocean floor until someone plays a hard-to-obtain song is a bad idea. Even the beaver in Banjo-Kazooie holding its breath underwater for a long time made more sense, because we don't know if it was there for long. Yes, nothing to be surprised at. Just a huge pug-faced turtle that suddenly appeared. Oh, come on, pirates. You're seriously trying to sail through that thing? I don't hate this dungeon, but fully completing it in 1 cycle can be a huge pain in the neck. By the time you've turned the stray fairies in, you might already be at the final hours. These switches take too long to push. These Bio-Deku Babas should be overwatered. How are we supposed to know to look at the ceiling in first person? This time the ice arrows can only freeze certain areas, which isn't as fun. Why didn't they shorten this annoyingly long attack? Gyro gets the only dungeon boss that's actually improved, but trying to get these mines while avoiding enemies is irritating. Unlike Woodfall and Snowhead, nothing's changed here aside from an added minigame, and a concert that even completionists don't have to see. Is Lulu related to Malon? This seafarer should choose an easier spot if he wants people to play his minigame. Force tutorial. The annoying camera doesn't show all 4 torches in the same shot. To complete the Don Gero side quest, you must go halfway through the Woodfall and Great Bay temples and beat Goat. In the same cycle. Putting dirt in milk somehow makes Gorman feel better. The all-night mask is a sleep mask? Well, I guess it's okay, if you want to be an insomniac. Why is there a UFO picture? The only aliens here traveled by a ball of light, not a UFO. Andrew's grandmother must think Andrew's cooking was made with the unicorn blood from Harry Potter. Commanding the Stout Children is awesome, but are they strong enough to destroy graves by throwing rocks? Flat takes his grave being violated quite well. The devil exists in a world with multiple gods. Gyros die in 1 hit and you'll just forget them anyway. That sounds so wrong. Gyptos are as bad as they were in Ocarina. Game deliberately rips off Mario 64's Boo Carousel. This moment scared some people into not playing the game for weeks. His face still looks kind of wrong even after he's returned to normal. Nice scene though. Great, a redundant grinding mission. If you're doing this blind with no list of items you need with you, good luck finishing it before the moon crashes. This Gypto sounds like he wants a bomb when he really wants a Deku Nut. What do these stupid thieves want with this stuff anyway? Some easily offended idiots forced Nintendo to change Ocarina's Mirror Shield design into this dirt mess from the Happy Mask salesman's back. These guys couldn't get a bigger moat. I'm sick of seeing the secret in every single Majora's Mask Let's Play. Wasn't this cutscene in Ocarina of Time except with Twin Rova? Oh hi Ben. Dampé, who was a supposed nice guy, kept pestering his wife. I hate how slow Dampé walks during this, especially since this is the final night. These wall masters make this worse. Dampé survives this. This fiery finger pointing toward the heavens, and a disgusting image in some panels indicate that this tower's builders are jerks to the Hylian gods. And yes, I get the reference. Way too long of playing the Elegy of Emptiness, which you must keep stopping to play. I lost count of how many times you played in this dungeon, so I'll just save time and add 18 cents. How are people supposed to know about the stray fairy up here in the lava room? This mirror doesn't show my reflection. Am I a vampire? This mirror puzzle's annoying. Igors look weird. Well, at least they don't look like weird one-eyed snubble things like in Link to the Past. I love this mechanic, but now will everyone fall into the sky and die? Wow, even the game is tired of Wizrobe if they're no longer giving it the mini-boss theme. So stop using him. Let's pretend airplanes exist in Termina and that a plane's flying under this tower, then suddenly this room's water was dumped all over that plane. Yeah. Just because you make Link giant doesn't mean it needs the slowest and creepiest giant-like elements. Twin Mode makes a pretty horrific sound when it dies. This text box takes way too long to fill up. Tettle, shouldn't it be obvious what they mean? The Great Fairy of Kindness gives you something you can kill things with. Is this writing Japanese? How can Link read it? Another Goron happens to share your name, so this mix-up could happen. Unlike in Ocarina, this one's a complete coincidence. This can't be the same one, he barely looks like him. Link is a huge jerk to Link Goro. Does Anju run this place all by herself? That's incredibly stressful. This kid doesn't hear you swimming and or jumping behind him to break into his house. The Skull Kid both messed up Cathay's age and made him look kinda feminine. Extremely overprotective mother who can't stand who their child loves cliche. Instead of doing the right thing by reporting Shake on, the Curiosity Shop guy keeps it a secret if he stops complaining. Yeah, you're selling good products by selling them what you had your Takuri buddies steal from them in the first place. Why is Cathay friends with this horrible person? Oh yeah, a rotten thief is charitable. Anju is sweeping this room that'll be destroyed anyway. When did Tails mate with a Pikachu? You can't deliver this priority mail until night. Heck, it's not even needed to get the couple's mask. Convenient rocks Cathay can hide behind. Cathay doesn't notice this giant switch that sets off Seiken's evil traps. 17 seconds of Cathay running. I know these people have jobs, but wouldn't they rather stay alive than stay at work? Why isn't staying on the postman's schedule? Don't they care for his safety? Well, I've been a jerk to this game, and I'll continue to for the next few minutes. But I'd be fooling myself if I didn't remove 4 sins for this heart-wrenching moment. But why can't they evacuate together? There's still time. Say what you want, Nerl, but I dare you to complain about how this no longer looks like some giant snot drip. I understand why the inside of the moon isn't scary. I watch Rabbit and Speedsters call up every October. But personally, I think it seems like a somewhat random choice. Are you sure this isn't Kingdom Hearts' intro? This Snowhead Temple area really doesn't feel ice-themed. This segment's annoying. Let's give a lovely wedding symbol to these random kids. It's easy to run out of bomb shoes, but you need to access the next room. Hooray, the Fierce Deities mask, which completely ruins the challenge of the final fight and is pretty much not needed anywhere else. This room is much more fitting than the original's weird Rainbow Wonderland thing. This demon can attack by spinning? This phase just moonwalks and breakdances around making chicken sounds. Kinda underwhelming for Majora. Did the moon return to orbit, or was it destroyed? It looks like it's crumbling, putting all those disasters I mentioned earlier into effect. Yet everyone is still alive. These stupid townspeople waited right outside the town for the moon to hit. The Happy Mask salesman vanishes into thin air, and the quest to find Navi has been completely forgotten. What? We waited the whole game for the carnival and can't enjoy it? That would have been awesome! Good thing the postman wasn't too far from Clocktown to see that the moon went away. When I first played this game, I thought they were showing him still running away, not knowing that Termina was saved. Time to witness an amazing wedding scene. This will be so heartwarming. Darn it, Tingle! Why won't you let me see Cathay? You are so dead when I'm finished with this video, because now I have to give 5 cents for ruining a great moment. Game implies that the World to Deku image from much earlier is the Deku Butler's son, even though all of us have pretty much forgotten about it by now.